Thank you for tuning into the Hustleman Show. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you want to listen to the audio experience, there's 2 links below. The SoundCloud link, the Spotify link, or you can just do a Google search for Hustleman Show podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I got my man, Joerilla. All right. Very, very, very dope guy. And I don't throw that around loosely. I've met a lot of people over the years, and this guy's been very, very supportive of this business from day one. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're the type of guy that if you fuck with somebody, it's lifelong, and if you don't, like the support that you throw brands is crazy, bro.
For sure.
Like it's,
and the only brand I support is Staple.
I saw that. Yeah. And Cap Swag, I hope. I hope.
And Cap Swag.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So
the black box, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So I feel like you're a lifelong supporter of some of these brands. So go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I said I'm Cap Swag all day.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. So I got my man Joerilla here. I want to just plug your podcast real quick. It's Flock With Us.
Yep.
On Spotify.
And everywhere available.
All streaming. Flock With Us.
Streaming. Run it through Anchor.
Got it.
Anchor.fm.
And you push it out through everything.
Yep.
Got
and
it.
YouTube, I do a video version of it too.
So real quick, what is the premise of the show? Like I was talking to you about it real quick, and I just want to get an understanding. Like this is what you're doing is you're documenting your lifestyle. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So just the people that I've come up with, people I know.
Yeah.
Friends, lifelong friends, people I've done business with.
Yeah.
And pretty much. Yeah, so it's I just loved it. I love to document. I document everything.
And how valuable is that process for you, going back and looking at some of this stuff?
Oh, it's great. It's 100 times good for me, but it's like a million times for everybody else.
Why so? Why is it so much more?
I'm like the timekeeper.
Word.
A lot of nobody was documenting back in the day.
When you say back in the day, when were people not documenting? Like how long ago? Like when you started getting into the video side of things, how long?
The video side of things was 95.
So 95, bro, that's fucking early.
Yeah, super
bro, that's early. That's not like digital like right now.
Yeah, my whole high school is documented.
Wow. Before we get into that, let's stop right there, and let's talk about who you are real quick, so people know who you are. And then I want to get into that doc, because I feel like you've made a name for yourself as the documenter.
For sure.
As the content producer. So just tell people a little bit more about yourself and who you are and what you've done.
I'm just a content creator. I was creating content before there was any content to create.
That's dope.
Yeah, for sure. The video market, like YouTube videos you see now, and people document going to club, going around, just parties and everything, that didn't exist until I invented it here in Nashville.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you were documenting just that whole lifestyle. And then how were you documenting it? What kind of equipment were you using? Like give people some perspective.
Oh yeah. Well, I started out with a handy cam.
Wow.
Just a camcorder.
Wow.
And I had to make a lighting system from lights I bought at Radio Shack.
Wow.
It looked like 2 robot lights.
Wow. So you're out here crafting.
And nobody else. Yeah, and I was the only one with light in the club. When we went to the clubs, we just hung out, parties and shows. I was the only one with light.
What gave you the idea to start documenting video like that? Like what put it in your head that's probably the angle to go into?
I don't know. I've always liked video. Always enjoyed recording stuff and just keeping it and editing it. So high school, I'd say 9th grade. From 9th grade on, I didn't carry books. I didn't do homework. I didn't do anything. I carried a camera. That's all I did.
Crazy.
All the time. That's all I recorded. Yeah, it was high school.
Crazy.
And then, so I figured, if that worked for that, it'll work for, Nashville scene. Trying to document what's going on. I started out as a producer. So producing music, making beats, recording, taught myself how to do all that.
So the music side of it, you got in as a producer first.
Yeah.
And then what?
Producer first. It just really didn't. It just wasn't panning out. Nashville's not a hard hip hop area.
Yeah, but there's a scene out there. There is a music scene out there.
There is a scene. It's kind of behind,
Gotcha.
underground behind.
Gotcha. So you go from producing to actually video shooting and editing on a camcorder. And for those of you that don't know what a
Right. Out
camcorder
of
is,
necessity.
yeah, how do you record that content? For people that don't know, a lot of people don't know what a camcorder is, bro. Like they have digital cameras now. So how do you had cassettes?
Can't believe that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because you got to buy cassettes, you got to buy batteries,
Yeah,
and you sit there and interchange them out all night.
it's crazy. That's
Run and
crazy.
gun. The whole thing was run and gun shoot.
Bro, how were you even editing? How did you edit all that film once you had it?
Well, you had to run it firewire through a PC, dump it down, frame by frame.
Crazy.
Then yeah. So, but before that, in high school, I took 2 VCRs and I linked them together.
Crazy.
Right. So it would play. I would play with the camera. I would record on one VCR, and then I would play backup and audio on another separate one.
That's crazy, bro. So this is
just like the old school mixtapes where you record one radio to the next.
Yeah. You're dubbing them, right? Like you were literally, you were literally.
There was no other way.
There's no other way. That's crazy, bro. That's really a labor of love, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like people got so much at their disposal right now, and they have, bro, there was no YouTube back then. How did you even learn that? Like, this is 95, bro. YouTube was not prevalent like it is now. How did you even learn to do that?
So the school I went to had a video team that I wanted to join because it sparked my interest, and they refused to let me on the video team.
Damn.
So I made my own video.
That sounds
and
about.
I dubbed up copies. Yeah.
That sounds about right. So you asked to be on the team. They were like, nah, chill. They just said no. Why did they say no?
Yeah, they just said no. They had a bunch of there was we moved down to Tennessee to a place called Spring Hill. And Spring Hill was famous for Saturn, the car plant, the GM.
Yeah.
Remember Saturn?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. So they had donated a bunch of video editing equipment to the school.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
There's a video team.
Yeah.
Cameras, edits, and I said, I want to be a part of it. So I went and asked the teacher and asked the club, and I was just like, I want to be a part of this any way I can. And they're like, yeah, no, we're good. Like, we know you. Like,
we know you.
Yeah.
So they was worried about you. That was the situation. I got you.
Yeah. So I went out and I went to I think it was like Sears, and bought me a camcorder and started doing it myself.
That's dope. And then
and back then it was like $2,600 for a camcorder.
Damn.
I had to flip out screen. I think I still have it somewhere.
That's crazy, bro. And then how did you learn how to do all of that? What was the process? Again, there was no YouTube back then. There was no like videos and shit showing you how to do everything. We didn't live in the Google world.
I had no one to teach me. So I would shoot, and then I would think. I would just stay up and think, how am I going to edit this?
Huh.
So you take 2 VCRs on an old TV.
Yeah.
I'm sure you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And audio mixer, and you record, play, record.
Crazy. So you're using your VCRs in order to mix.
2 VCR, yeah. So it was like a turntables, but
that's
VCR.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah.
How did you get that? Like, how did you get into that thinking? How did you go into that?
I recorded it, and I had to it's not a necessity, so you need it out.
Yeah.
And there was no film companies. I mean, stuff wasn't cheap back then.
Gotcha.
Anything done back in 94, 95 was done by production TVs. There was no home video. You know what I mean? You had home videos, but you had no way to edit it.
Yeah.
So I created it.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. You figure out the process on how to do this, and then you go
right.
And then you go and you start documenting the whole scene down in Nashville, right?
Yeah.
You figure
about 2001. About 2001, I got a call from a guy named DJ Bryant D, which he just literally just passed. So rest in peace, Bryant D. Passed from COVID.
Wow, that's tough.
Sad
man.
situation. Yeah, he called me. He said, I heard you shoot video, and I said, yeah. And this is in Nashville. Nashville's about 45 minutes away to an hour away from where I stay.
Yeah.
So my name's stretched out there. I think he knew somebody that I knew, and it was like, you shoot video, and I was like, yeah, I can. What do you need? And he's like, I got $400 for a music video, and I said, yeah, definitely, I can do it.
Yeah.
That easy.
That's a
Went out,
$400
I
come
got a
up. You're
computer.
going to want to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And from that day, from that day on, everyone paid me. You just pay me for video. Come out and shoot.
That's crazy. So you figured out how to turn that into your production, but that's what you wanted to do. Right. Essentially, you wanted to produce.
Not really, but it was just fun. They just wouldn't stop. People wouldn't stop paying me to do it.
That's dope. That's dope.
It just came to me for some reason.
Yeah, I've seen some of the videos on YouTube, by the way. You guys can check out Joerilla. Yeah. We're gonna add his YouTube link in the description section of this video, or in the Spotify description, or wherever you're streaming this.
Yeah, and it's the best video.
Nah, but bro.
But
yeah, but I remember looking at it and it was interesting. Like looking at the content that you were producing was, to me, it was interesting, because you were it was a process of documenting, and that was an interesting thing.
Oh, for sure.
You did like one video about like this store, Fat Caps, right?
Yeah.
You got a video on Fat Caps,
right?
And I remember I remember looking at that, and I thought, man, he's really embedded in that documenting process. What I did notice is that you weren't putting out a whole lot of content. What's the story there? So you're making
content.
What is it?
I have tons. I have hours and hours and days of photos that I just never put out.
Why is that?
I have no idea. I just never get around to it.
You just don't do it. I got you. I was actually I wanted to see more. I saw the YouTube channel. I saw it was pretty good content. I just didn't see a lot of activity. So I said, okay, he must be putting it out whenever he wants to put it out, or whatever the case. So
yeah, I thought it was. I mean, just for fun, basically.
Yeah. So your name starts getting out there. You become like this video editor, like underground music scene, Nashville thing, where people are reaching out to you to do like video edits. Where does it go from there?
Edits, commercials,
commercials for
promo,
promo and commercials for who?
Or like local businesses and artists, just a bunch of like random stuff.
That's dope. So you turned it into your did it become your full-time job, or it was still like a hustle to you, like a side hustle to you?
Like a full-time passion, just for fun.
It's a full-time passion. It was
just fun. I was just getting paid, come to the club and shoot, and then come home and edit the video.
I got you. And at what point do you take your editing style and it crosses over to like some of the branding stuff that you deal with, like Staple? Like, at what point do those worlds mix up for you, or did they always mix up for you?
No, I mean, it always came from like people calling me out to shoot, and then I'd be shooting, and then someone would stop me and be like, "Hey, I need a video, and I need promo." And so the way like the Staple thing came about is probably about 2011 or 2010. The local magazine called Concrete Magazine here in Nashville, they'd see me shoot at an event, and they said, "Hey, you want to come shoot this artist we're gonna have? It's gonna be at Fat Caps." And they're like, "Who's the artist?" And I was like, "It's like, we're Yellow Wolf's performing." And I said, "Oh yeah, who?" I had no idea who the guy was.
Who was the artist? Who was the artist? Right?
Yellow Wolf.
Yellow Wolf. Okay, I've not heard of him. I've not heard of him personally, but
he's from like in Alabama. He was signed to Shady, the Slum American.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this guy,
white guy, rapper,
big underground rapper in that area.
Big underground rapper. Yeah,
in that area. I got you.
What's that?
I got you.
Yeah. So like Alabama, he was from Tennessee, or he was from Alabama, moved to Tennessee, back to Alabama, got on real big. Look him up when you get a chance.
I will.
Dope artist. So
I will.
Yeah. So they asked me to shoot that. And who else was there? I think Ritz. You know Ritz?
I don't. A lot of these underground rappers.
It was crowded.
A lot of.
So the
not to cut you off. A lot of these underground rappers that you had on there, I've actually never heard of them. Like Jelly Roll. I had to do my research on who they are. You know, they're huge out
Really?
there, bro. People know who these people are out there. Yeah, these are really, really big underground rappers. They're regional underground rappers, or they're coast to coast underground rappers.
Right.
Which one is it?
Yeah. So
Which one is it?
like I mean they're national.
They're national, huh?
They go overseas. Yeah. These are pretty big deal artists.
Sure. Wow, that's dope. So somebody reaches out to you because of
sure.
the content thing in order to shoot a promo video with them involved. Got it.
Right. So I made that connect with the Nashville magazine, Concrete magazine, and that secured in a lot of gigs. And then that night, we were supposed to get an interview for Yellow Wolf, and they kicked everybody out of the club, you know, because it's time for the artists to chill. And they were like, "Oh yeah, we didn't get the interview, so no big deal." And I said, "No," I was like, "We're gonna get that interview."
Right.
So we go over to the door and bang on the door, Bo go to the door, "Hey, let us in," you know, and we get in there, and the owner of the store notices it, you know. He was like, "Oh, okay. Kind of just push your way into my store. Is that how you're feeling?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
After that, yeah, it was a decent, I'll send you the video. It's a decent video. So after that, he was like, yeah. I like your drive. I like your hustle. Why don't you come shoot for us?
This is Concrete.
Store Fat Cat.
This is the store. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the owner of the store was like, "Yeah, I like your style.
That's
I like
smart.
it a lot. Come shoot for us." So it just spreads even more.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's very, very dope.
Yeah. So Fat Caps, they have Currency, you know, Currency, Pusha T.
Yes. Pusha T. Yes.
Yeah. Rick Ross.
Yes.
Bun B.
Yes.
Yo Gotti.
Yes.
All these people come to the store.
I got
Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, I saw Nipsey was there once. Yeah.
Yeah. So all them. So that's how I got linked up to shoot all that as well.
Gotcha.
So any kind of hip hop artists came through Nashville, they had to come through Concrete or they'd come through Fat Caps. And that's where I came in.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So it's so interesting how these stores are actually like they're places where they really, the culture really meets. It's bigger than just a store. It's a place that that houses the culture.
For sure.
Yeah, it's very, very. I always found, as a kid, I always found that interesting. It's not where people go to buy shit. Like, they're gonna buy shit. Yes, I understand all that, but it's bigger than that. It's really, really bigger than that.
And Fat Caps is 23 years plus, going strong now in Nashville.
Yeah, I actually
that's the place to go.
Yeah, I've never heard of them before seeing the video, but it's they sound like they're like an institution out there. Like, people know.
It's a staple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Nashville Fat Caps. That's it. That's all you do.
That's
the only
dope.
place to shop.
That's dope. So this guy's like, "Yeah, I like what you're doing. I like your style." And then you link up with Concrete. So now all artists coming through that area, if they have content that they need to shoot, they have an event that they need to document, they're reaching out to you.
Yeah, they have to filter through me.
Gotcha.
And it's not like I'm the only one doing it by this time.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people doing it. It's just, they're just not solid. They're not 100. They're just
they're not consistent.
Yeah, they're not trustworthy. And to this day, Concrete hit me up and invite me out to a place. And, you know, it's just dope. Fat Caps as well, same thing.
That's crazy how these relationships, they could last forever, man. If you know how to cultivate them and treat them with respect, right?
Right.
But you have to.
And then, you know, so with that, so like on the side, I would always, I would do my job, obviously. I would video, film. And then on the side, I would, you know, reach out and talk to the people and make my connections.
That's smart, bro. That's really cool. So
never on their time, though. Always when I was done. I'm done filming. Cool. And I would just pull them to the side and talk to them.
Yeah.
That's how I got to talk to Pusha T, Malice, you know, both the Clips guys, and then Nipsey and Bun B, Jeff Staple, all those people. That's how it happened.
That's dope. And you just pull them to the side and have an honest conversation. And because of that background that you have, you're able to have that conversation. You're filming somebody. It's an intimate thing, right? When you film somebody,
there's always something going on between the camera guy, the guy.
Absolutely.
Shooting.
They got to trust that you're not going to put up some crazy shit. You know, like, there's got to be a trust factor. That's what I noticed, bro, honestly, about videography. Videographers are in a very, very interesting position, right? They shoot a scenario. The person that's getting filmed has to trust that they're gonna make them look as good as they need to make them look, and they're not gonna look crazy. So automatically you develop a trust level with the person behind the camera.
For
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So through Concrete, through Fat Caps, I linked up with. I mean, we went on tour with an artist named Jelly Roll.
Yeah, I heard, I seen the interview that you did with him, and then I researched him because actually the interview, I didn't know the artist, but I researched him because of the interview, and I saw, man, this guy's a pretty big deal out there. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, to these people, I hear about it, and I just want to be a part of the culture, so bad. Like I'm not. I mean, I've created it. I'm not a part of it. I just wanted. I'm far. I'm like literally an hour away from Nashville.
Yeah.
So I'm a total outside.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I is that the guy? That's the guy. Let me get him.
Yeah.
Give me 10 minutes with him. No problem.
Yeah.
Easy every time.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. So, talk to me about your staple fixation, like your.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like how do you?
So,
Go ahead.
Fat Caps had reached out to me in 2012, and they said, you know, we're gonna document Bun B and Jeff Staple.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dope. Bun B. Love Bun B.
Yeah.
Okay, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then I was like, again, like, who's the other guy? And they're like, Jeff Staple, he owns Staple Pigeon.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, cool. So
you knew the brand at that point, or not really?
Yeah, I knew it a little bit. I knew the pigeon.
Yeah.
I've always loved pigeons.
Yeah.
My uncle had pigeons. I've always loved pigeons growing up.
Yeah. I seen it on your Instagram. I'm like, I seen it on the Instagram. I'm like, yo, this guy really serious about his pigeons, bro. Like, you collect them and shit. Like, you into it.
He really got the.
Well, look, bro, I gotta. What is it?
I knew nothing about him.
You didn't know anything.
I knew nothing about Jeff. No, not at all.
About him in particular and about his brand. All you knew was, yeah, he's got a pigeon brand or whatever it is, but you didn't really know who the guy was.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it completely.
Cool.
Just like seeing something and you're just like, oh, that's a shirt with something on it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nothing about it. So that day, we spent the whole day. We went to the airport and picked Jeff and Bun up. And I got it on video. It's the most
that was dope.
The first time I met Jeff Staple. Like it was a weird thing, a weird connection. So and then just on the downtime, just talking to him and the things he said to me, and for some reason he just resonated with me. It was a really weird thing.
What's
just like,
what specifically? You meet this guy that you don't know. He comes to Nashville. What specifically resonated with you about him?
It was just him. There's just something about him that just resonated with me. And I was like, kind of need to talk to this guy. I kind of feel like I need to talk to him.
Yeah.
So, you know, on the downtime when we were shooting in between shots, I just kind of, you know, talked to him. And he just dropped things on me and it just resonated so hard. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, I got to be a part of this.
What are some of the things that
have to be?
What are some of the things that you remember him dropping on you? What are some of those things that you took away from that conversation?
Well, I got it all recorded. I've never told anybody.
Yeah. You got the whole thing recorded, but there was a lot of conversation in there that this person just had a wealth of knowledge.
You know, we had him mic'd up. The whole day.
Yeah.
And I had the GoPro running 24/7.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever share what he shared with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was so strong that I was just like, oh, dude, this guy is something special.
That's dope, bro. That's very dope.
Yeah.
You don't always
from that day on, I only see the pigeon. That's all I can see is the pigeon.
You don't always meet people like that, and at the same time, they're not always willing to share. Some people are gatekeepers, so they're in a position.
He just talked to me like a normal person.
Yeah, that's dope.
He just talked to me like a normal person and just said these amazing things, and it was really weird. I can't explain it.
Yeah, that's dope. So it was the person that connected you to the brand. It wasn't just that you were into the brand. It wasn't just the product that you were into. You really connected the product with the person, and then after that, you became like a long time fan of the product and fan of the brand and the person, honestly, right?
Exactly right.
That's interesting.
And whatever happened that day, and it was like an awakening. It was like a spiritual awakening, literally. Switched the entire direction of my entire life.
That's crazy. That's so heavy.
And I owe that
So
all to the Staple brand.
So what happened exactly?
And what's behind that Staple brand is Jeff Staple.
But what happened exactly that shifted your foot? Like, that's a big thing. It's not a small thing, bro. Yeah. Something must have happened.
Huge.
What did he save you from getting hit by a car? Like, what happened exactly that made? How do you go?
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's hard to explain. Like, I mean, people who have these awakenings and you realize new things in your life that want to take you and make you do different things in a different direction and go a different route. You've heard of these things.
So
right?
you were inspired by his hustle, his struggle, his business acumen,
everything he said. It was amazing. I was just in awe. I was amazed by it.
That's cool, man.
It's crazy. It's so hard to. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's really hard to explain.
It's
like you find the Fountain of Youth, or the first time you see the pyramids.
That's crazy,
first time
bro.
You hear the Beatles.
That's crazy,
first
bro.
Time you speak, first time you look at Jeff Staple and talk to him, I guarantee you're just gonna be like, wow. And that sounds a little corny. I'm sure it sounds corny to some people, but
I don't think it sounds corny. I think it's honest. Not a lot of people would say things like that unless they felt it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like an awakening, just a switch on. Same thing that happened when I filmed, and the guy from Fat Caps was like, T from Fat Caps was just like, yeah, I love your style. It was just a switch. These are moments that are captured, and I've just realized it.
So you're sensitive to those moments, huh? Obviously,
extremely, yeah.
Obviously, yeah. Some people are not very sensitive to any moments, but a lot of
people are just numb to it. They're in the moment. So when I'm videoing, it's not like you're in the moment. You're editing in your head. You're filming, and you're trying to get the best shot. You're not there.
You're trying to set up the next shot, and you're setting up the whole thing as a continuous stream.
So while I'm shooting, I'm not even there. I'm through the camera. I barely remember the situations.
Yeah, but you're trying to capture the moment.
Right. But, when you put the camera down and something special like that happens, it just resonates with you, and it creates something with you.
That's dope.
Really weird, yeah.
That's dope, bro.
I mean, it's the same way that we're here now.
Yeah.
I was literally a customer.
Yes.
In 2012?
I guess, bro. To keep it 100.
No, 2013.
To keep it 100, you interacted with my brother-in-law. I don't know. I don't know how we met, but I guess we met through my brother-in-law. You put in an order. You ordered some product online, and then we just got to know each other more and more and more. You were following the brand, and then we got to know each other.
Right. And what led me to you was Staple.
That's crazy.
Because I'm on the hunt for Staple. I'm looking for Staple. I'm buying everything possible. If you sold anything on eBay or in your store online from 2013 to about 2014, I probably bought it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I have the world's largest Staple collection.
That's fucking crazy, bro. Yo, that shit is crazy, man. To keep it 100 with you, bro. That's the power of branding.
Right.
I don't think people understand, bro. Branding is so heavy.
No, and then with Staple, it connects me, to people like you. So we have a thing. You've reached out to me. It's something genuine.
Yes.
It's not physical.
Yes.
It's something in there. You know what I mean? You were like, hey, I like this guy.
Yes.
I'm gonna hit him up.
Yes.
I appreciate it. Every time I talk to you online, you're like, yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks
for sure.
love.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean it. It's not, bro, people have a lot of choice these days. They don't have to bang with you.
No, not at all.
There's plenty of places.
And then from that, I seen your website, and at first, I seen the logo and the cap swag, and I kind of, kind of giggle.
Yeah.
Because it's different. That's not the, we don't do that out here.
Yes.
Just the lingo.
Yes.
The shop. But I just seen this growth and this hustle that you had, and you were putting content out, and you were reaching out, you were trying, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't give up.
Yeah.
These dudes are dope.
I appreciate that, bro.
Anytime I seen anything you did, I supported it.
I appreciate that, bro. I don't think a lot of people understand the level of work that goes into what it is that we're doing. But somebody like you, being as sensitive as you are, you see, people take that sensitive word and they don't understand what that means. If you're not sensitive, then you're insensitive. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like being a mule. You gotta.
Right.
I'm a very sensitive person, bro. Very. I
Yeah,
pay
people are
attention.
numb. People are like
I'm
literally
very,
people are
bro.
asleep.
I am very.
People
I'm
are
maybe too sensitive. I'm very sensitive. I look at I'm just keeping it real, bro. That's not a negative word at all. I feel like the best creators in the world are sensitive people.
Right.
They're paying attention to what it is that's going on around them, and they're receiving that energy, positive or negative sometimes, right? And they know how to move with that. So you meet this guy, and it sounds like you don't want to go into detail about what happened, which is fine. That's fine.
Right.
That's fine. You probably want to have that conversation at a different time. I get it.
Sure.
But whatever it is, it changes the trajectory of your life. And these are your life. And these are your words, not mine.
Right.
How old were you at the time?
Oh God, I don't know. It was 2012.
Okay, so how old were you?
30, 38, 30, 36.
Bro, you meet this guy at 36 and you standing here.
Oh, I'm 42 right now.
So you're 42 right now. Peep this.
So let someone else do the math.
Let's peep this. You're 42 right now. You meet this guy at 36. And this guy legit, you saying to me at 42 right now, this guy, that whatever happened changed the course of your life.
Right.
And this all occurred through the starting of a brand.
Right.
Bro, this is why I started this podcast.
No, for sure.
I think people think I just have time on my hands. I don't have nothing to do. That's not what it is. I started this podcast because I feel like that's crazy to me, bro. That a hustle.
That's amazing.
That's
I didn't intend for it to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't know the guy. I didn't know nothing about his brand. I knew he had a pigeon. I had a couple pigeon things.
Yeah.
Whatever. And it was just like any other brand until that day, until I literally seen him coming down the escalator of the airport.
Yeah.
And it just hit me like, oh shit.
I don't know. I mean, I know you start something, you really don't know the impact that it's gonna have on people's lives. Real talk. Like you start something and in the back of your head you're thinking this could be huge or it could be dog shit. It's really up to us on how we make it. But there are times where the thing that you do, whatever it is, it has such an impact on the world around you, the people around you. It's so crazy. Like you're 36 years old, and this brand that he started probably in his basement or his mom's house or whatever the case may be, it goes from like this little thing into a nationwide brand, and relationships that he's building, he's impacting the lives of people. People fucking with his brand so much that they're proud to say that they're the number one collector of his product. That's not small, bro. That's heavy.
It's so special.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, like it's inked in my flesh.
That's crazy.
And it's nothing to do with the dunks. It's nothing to do with the collabs. It's whatever they represent.
What is it that they represent to you in your eyes?
Oh man, it's just the hustle. The hustle is so strong. The work ethic and the brand it's designing and just the genius behind such a simple thing.
Like a pigeon.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the hunger he had for it. It was just like, wow.
Huh.
I want that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we have an account with them. We used to sell their product a lot more. We don't sell it as much anymore, but we used to sell it a lot more. And there was, for me, when I was first exposed to that brand, I thought it was genius. The dude took a winged rat, a pigeon, right? AKA a pigeon, right?
Right.
You know, pigeons in New York, bro, they're not, people look down on that animal. And he made
I know.
And he made it an iconic like logo, and people really mess with the brand. And I thought that was genius.
Right. It's just an amazing concept beyond the whole brand. It's like, I mean, it's like a pigeon religion. You know what I mean? It's
Facts.
I wish more people, and that's what I'm trying to do. Like I try to open people up to it without really, helping them out to it. Like I'm just like, this is the most amazing thing that I've seen.
Huh. So it's really for you, their representation of how they take a simple product and they make it like they just hustle their way into a nationwide label.
Sure. I mean, think about it. I mean, the guy was designing, for Nike before Nike was popular. And he's not Jordan, you know what I mean? But the guy's he's got design skill, and they're innovative ideas that they were able to get these things, and he was just like, it was just a hustle. It's just an amazing grind. Survivors.
Before Nike was popular in the skateboard culture, in dunks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Dunks.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's just his whole story, basically, is everything just resonated so much with me.
That's dope. That's very, very interesting.
He wanted, something he created, and something he's now living.
That's dope, bro. That's very, very dope. That's
amazing.
Yeah. That's not a small thing, bro. When you've had conversation with him, I'm guessing after that time, I'm guessing he feels that that's the same thing. That's very dope. You got his logo on your hand, bro. Like that's heavy.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know if he knows.
If anybody's watching this, any of my employees, if you don't have a logo etched into your flex, you're not getting a fucking raise from now on. Don't talk to me about getting a raise until I see a logo on your flesh. God damn it, that's dope. That's dope, bro. So he sees that you're a collector. He sees all this. That's a very interesting connection that you have. So you start collecting and you start putting people onto the brand. Tell me one of the ways that you've become, like, you're literally a brand ambassador for this brand at this point. And this is, by the way, for people that don't know who Staple is one of the OG streetwear companies. Let's keep it 100. They are. They just are. Yeah. And they're one of.
I mean, he basically invented streetwear.
Definitely. Him and a couple of other brands in New York. But he, honestly, of all the brands that was out at the time, he was the most innovative. Straight up.
Right.
His cut and sew pieces is ridiculous.
Yeah,
straight up.
And I collect plenty of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, every time I collect a piece, I'll send them a picture and they'd be like, oh, I remember that. And I'm like, well, give me a story on it. I'm like, that's a dope story.
Yeah. So I remember seeing his hats with the bird shit on the back.
Yeah, the pigeon poop on the back.
That's what turned me on to the brand. I was like, yo, this dude got bird shit on the back of the hats. We got to pick this up. We got to pick this up. So I thought that was very, very dope. So you're now considered a brand ambassador, and you put out a lot of content for that because you're a content creator. You've been creating content since cassettes, right? Since camcorder. So take me through that a little bit. The brand resonates with you on that level. Take me through some of the ways that you've been a brand ambassador for them for the last few years.
Yeah, anytime you see me, there's a pigeon on me, literally.
Wow.
People always like, hey, that's pigeon, and then they want to get down, they want information on it. I try to hold back from talking like 3-4 hours about how dope the brand is. Yeah. I mean, it was here. It was at Fat Caps, before I found it. Yeah. Of course, but I just made it a thing. Yeah. So I saw on your Instagram, you were posting a post about something Staple related for like once a day, every day for a year. Oh yeah. So for Staple's 20th year, 20-year anniversary, I decided to post a piece of my Staple collection every day for a solid year, from January to January. And I pulled it off. Yo, bro, people own companies that are not as dedicated to their own fucking companies as you are to this guy's brand. Right. Real talk. You know that there are people that own a business right now that don't post one single thing a day about their business. Yep. Right so now. I did it every day. I'm talking about bad days, good days, rainy days, days you don't want to go on. I post it every day. That's dope. From January, 2018, 2019. That's dope. Yeah. That's dope. And these are all items. These are all pieces from your collection. Right. Everything I own. These are all personal pieces. So in order for you to shoot, you need to shoot that content. You got to have it to shoot it. Right. So you're a collector and you're creating that content around that. Right. Huh. Very every interesting. Bit of it I own. Very, very, very interesting, bro. Yeah. So you're a collector of a lot of things I see in the background. You consider yourself a sneakerhead, yeah? I see a lot of sneakers in the background. Yeah, well, no, I mean, this is shoes. I'm not really a sneakerhead,
Yeah, but you
but
but, but you collect some sneakers, yeah.
yeah, I collect it.
I got you.
But
So
mostly it's just, I mean, most of the stuff's for fun. The rest of it is staple.
I got you. So Staples the true cut. You're like a staple
Yeah,
head. You're like a
yeah,
like a polo heads, like
yeah,
low heads. Yeah,
yeah. I'll be the staple head.
yeah. I got you. Let me
Yeah,
ask you. Let me ask you a question. People listening to this, right? This show is designed for people that are startups, for
right.
entrepreneurs, right? This
Hmm.
show is designed for people that want to launch their labels. And we're in the branded business, of course, but we're also, I don't know if you know or not, but we're in the printed business as well. We have our own
Yeah, I do.
facility. So being in that business, I get to meet a lot of different people, and they always come to me, and they're like, "Yo, I want to launch this brand." And I'm like, "Oh, dope, good for you, bro. Like, go for it." And they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make this shirt. It's gonna be the biggest thing since sliced bread. It's gonna be dope." And I'm always supportive because these are people trying to do something,
Right.
right? What advice would you give them that they would it would resonate with them for that brand to be worth their time? Because there's a lot of brands out there. Everybody's launching a brand these days, and we're
Yeah.
in that business of facilitating that.
You just got to believe in your brand. You got to eat, sleep, and believe in it. You got to sweat it. You got to bleed it. Otherwise, it won't work. You'll see them create a brand, and then next thing you know, they're doing like a Tide logo with their brand because they can't come up with an original. They don't love it. They don't love it enough.
They don't love their brand enough.
Nope. You get nervous at some point when everyone created a brand. I'm sure they felt like, I gotta quit. I gotta quit. And I'd say 90%, 95% of the people who do create a brand say, I gotta quit. I gotta quit, and they quit.
Hmm.
You gotta. There's no other option. Like when you have no option to fail, there's no way you can fail. Just like Capsway. You know what I mean? You guys don't give up. You don't have the biggest following.
Yeah,
You guys have a walk-in, probably walk-in base, pretty big, right? People
yeah,
walk in and buy, but you're not giving up. You started a podcast.
yeah,
You open another office, like you open multiple buildings. Like it's amazing. You just won't give up.
yeah.
Like if you want to take the blueprint from anyone, take it from Capswag.
I appreciate you saying that, bro. I don't know if that give up culture is just, we're just not designed that way to
Yeah.
keep it 100. It's not that
Oh,
we're trying. It's not that we're trying not to give up. Is that we're trying to win.
yeah.
You understand? So I think a lot of times people start a brand and their main focus is to prove that they can do that. That's not our focus.
Right.
Our
Yeah.
focus.
It's
It's
deeper
not.
than that.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all are doing, it is much deeper with that.
Yeah.
And it
Our
shows. And
I
you come
appreciate
from
that.
flea market. You come from flea market, a couple $100. Like
Yeah.
you make amazing, like it's an amazing feat. I don't know if people understand that or not.
Some people
The
like.
problem is the only problem I see with Cap Swag
Yeah.
is that when I look up Cap Swag, I don't see the story. Like I had to actually live it
Yeah.
by watching you grow and listening to you talk. Like every time you were on live, I was on live.
Yeah.
Every time you dropped a video, I dropped a video. Every
Yeah.
time I got curious, like I asked or
Yeah.
talked to you, and you
Yeah.
you had nobody else gets that. Like I don't think anyone else hears that story. I think the best selling part of your brand is telling a story.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you, you're 100% right. There's things that we're good at as an organization. There's things that we're not. I think
Right.
I think historically, when you're building a business, it's very difficult to concentrate on creating content and telling that story. I
Right.
know that it's essential today more than ever.
Mhm.
And that's why we're doing this, right? We're becoming better at that. And I
Sure.
and I appreciate everything you just said, by the way, about us coming from a flea market, and these are all true things. We've known each other for close to 10 years now. You can't fake
Right.
that. That's just what it is.
No, you can't.
Yeah. So
It's something special.
for sure.
I
So
just like your first episode of the podcast. If that had been organized into a story or a video or something I put together, you would see people with Cap Swag tattoos.
yeah.
There's no way you couldn't just respect the hustle.
I appreciate that, bro.
You
I
boom, you know, but I mean, it'll start this year, I'm sure.
yeah. Yeah,
All the
that's
tattoos will,
that's the point. That's the point. And
right.
maybe after the podcast, we're gonna talk about how we're gonna start doing cap swag tattoos as well. How we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
start
mean,
making people do that. That's for sure.
you're a hub for greatness. I mean, you as a
I
person,
I
you're just an
appreciate that,
amazing
bro.
human being. I'm just blown away. That's the reason I'm sitting here. Like, I just want to hear more. I just want to listen to you talk
I
all day.
appreciate that, bro. I really do. You don't understand. That shit touched my heart. I mean
Yeah.
that.
And as much as I want, I mean, people look at you and they're like, I want that. I want a piece of that. How can I get it? You know?
You're asking me?
No, I mean, that's what people, I guarantee that's what they're thinking is how are they doing this? I want that. I want to do that.
I'm gonna tell you this. I think that people do think that at times, but I don't think that what they know what they're signing up for.
Yeah.
I think that if they lived something 6-7 days a week, and they gave up a lot of their personal time, their time with their families, they made a lot of sacrifices. I don't know if a lot of people would make that decision. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure they would try it.
They could, yes, they would try.
Right.
Maybe some would, but I don't know if they would sign if they knew all the sacrifices involved. I don't know if they would make all that decision. Sometimes it's not for everybody. Some lifestyles are not for everybody.
No, I mean, a lot of things are not for people, you know,
sure.
but it's for you and for you to tell.
For sure.
And I'm 100% sure that you're going to do that correctly now.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, it's just you're a hustler. I mean, it's amazing. Like from hearing what you come through, I wish more. I just want to tell people about the brand.
I appreciate that.
More about your story. I want more of your story.
So
that's what I'm excited about.
So I think that I'll be more than happy to sit down and talk about how we could do that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, you know, I'm documenting the stuff I document. Like I'm literally writing Nashville history. You know, it should be done in every business.
Facts.
I'm writing Staple history.
You are, yeah, you really are. To be honest with you, bro, you're collecting the product, and you're documenting that process. You're actually part of their brand awareness, bigger than you think, right? So it's a lot bigger than you think.
Yeah, and it's not even about the brand, or not about the brand. It's not about the things. You know what I mean? Like you could never give me another staple piece again. You could stop selling it.
Yeah,
and I still rep it
because you what you did. This is not about product for you. I can tell that what this is about you. The story was something that resonated with you so deep that it was like, I connect on this level. Every company wants that.
Right.
Every company wants that. And if you don't want that as a company, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. For sure. The love and passion that you have for Staple, that to me is amazing. I want my people to be as connected to what it is that we do on 1/10 of that level.
Right.
Fuck 100. I just want 10% of that level.
You just tell the story.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted the story, so I went and got the story after I talked to the man who invented it.
Sure.
And I wanted the story, so I did my research. I studied up. I talked to people. I asked. Everything.
Yeah.
If the story's there, you'll have the loyalty.
Yeah, and you got to know him on a personal level, and because you were a content creator, it allowed you to tell that story.
Yeah, it kind of helped out.
It definitely helped out. Kind of helped out. So, what I see is this. You know, what's interesting to me is that the passion that this guy had for his brand was like so strong, right?
Right.
That what ended up happening was he projected so much passion into his brand that people like you that are content creators, they migrated towards him.
Right.
I think that's one of the failures in business sometimes. We go through the motions, but we don't project that passion. When we don't project that passion through the work, it shows. Just like when we do, it shows.
Right.
And if we projected that passion correctly, people like yourself, they would come towards us.
Exactly.
The tattoos would show up. You know, you understand what I'm
Right.
saying or no?
Yeah, they would. No,
They
you're
would.
right.
They would because
Right on the money.
it's passion, bro. It's strictly passion. I know the brand, bro. They crush it with that.
Yeah, and like even staple, a lot of the staple things I can't wear. It's
Yeah,
just awkward. It doesn't look right on me. It's not built for me.
sure.
You know what I mean? At all.
Yeah,
I can maybe out of 30 pieces I can pull 10,
yeah.
but I'll still collect it.
You'll still collect it.
Yeah, but I can't wear it. Like a lot of the stuff they put out is just like, it's not me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not me at all. But it's not about the product. It's about the brand.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's really weird. I'm sorry.
That's nah. You're good. You're good. This is very, very. I'm getting a first class education on branding. Real talk.
Yeah.
Real talk.
So anyone that said the word staple, I would follow and I would try to talk to and interact with, and the whole team. Yeah, I heard about you, and I'm just like, oh, okay, it makes me happy.
How many people in the country right now are doing what you do for this brand? How many other people have you met that are doing anything like this? I mean, I know there's low heads, bro. I've met low heads. They're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They spend their fucking life savings on polo shit. Like they're nuts.
No, I've never met another person that appreciated it as much as I do, on a consumer basis, like a fan basis.
People love the brand. That's a fact. They love it.
It's literally a staple. It's staple.
Yeah,
It's
a staple. Yeah.
It's genuine, but yeah, I've never met anyone who appreciated the I don't know. It's just a special thing, I guess.
Let me ask you this question, because at the height of this thing, Staple was rocking and kicking, right? Like I remember they had it, at the height of it, like at the beginning of streetwear, the streetwear subculture in New York and LA. I remember like Staple being one of the leaders in streetwear. What transpired? What happened that they kind of shifted a little bit, and we saw like people like Supreme come along, people like Kith come along, and fill that void.
I don't know if I could speak on that. That's more of like internal Staple thing. Like I'm not a company man.
I'm not asking you internal. I'm asking is what do you think? Why did that occur that way? What are your thoughts on that in terms of why that void was created?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that was. I mean, it's mostly marketing and hype.
Yeah.
It's like the shoe game. Like, why do they still line up for Jordans?
Yeah. But they still line up for dunks, Staple Dunks, bro.
Yeah.
Staple Dunks are strong.
For sure.
Yeah. There was
Jordan Dunks. I mean, even Dunks, they line up. I mean, people are still going crazy, and it's only because it's marketed that way.
So what you're saying is that the marketing that people like Supreme took just put them in a whole different league.
Yeah. I would say so.
Definitely. I would agree.
I mean, I didn't know shit about Supreme.
Me neither.
I didn't know shit about Staple. I didn't know shit about anything.
Me neither.
I wore Ben Davis and Cortez.
Yeah.
White shirts. That's all I wore.
Yeah. I will tell you this. Even when I did not know a lot about them, being in the headwear industry, being in the apparel industry, I knew to appreciate quality product. And their shit was always on point. I'm going to keep it real, bro. Back in the day, I used to go to all the shows, like all the apparel shows. I'm a buyer. What I do is I buy for people. That's what I do. That's what I do. So I go out and I find the shit that's popping, the stuff that does well, right? And I position it in a place where our customers can find it. When I found that brand, when I bumped into that brand, automatically I know that, okay, there's Staple and there's a few other companies that are doing it on this level, like Stussy at the time, right? It was doing it on that level. There was a couple, like the Hundreds was doing it kind of on that level a little bit. There was a couple brands that was really popping. There was Mighty Heath. I think it was Mighty Healthy or something like that. At the time they were doing it. But nobody had the creative juice that I would say Staple had, except for maybe Stussy, right? Stussy, they had something similar, but not on that level. Their branding game was completely different. Staple. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so even back then they had that, but somewhere along the line, things shifted and they allowed for these companies like these retail heavy companies. Like they're not retail footprint heavy, but like I don't think you ever thought I want to go to the Staple store. You thought I love the Staple brand.
Right.
Right?
Me?
well, you probably definitely wanted to go, but I think as like a casual, I know you wanted to go 100. But I'm talking about like I don't even have to. I'll answer it for you. I know that you
Right.
would. I'm talking about like the casual Staple customer. I doubt
Oh
that they
yeah.
were thinking. And I saw pictures of the Staple store online, but the way that the Kits of the world and the Supremes of the world, the way they were designing their retail footprint, it was a consumer experience.
Yeah, I think they just missed that with Reed Space. They started too soon on that,
Yeah,
and then they did right when everything else jumped.
yeah,
From what I've seen, they said Reed Space was just the most amazing, innovative place
really.
in the Lower East Side.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah.
I got you.
Do your research.
Yeah, yeah. I actually did my research, but I didn't see a lot of that. Maybe it was the visual.
Reed Space.
But I know he had the space called Reed Space. I know he was even doing lectures at the time in universities in the area. I remember all of that. I mean, this guy was into. Yeah. I think he also worked for some other brands before, like Mark Echo and stuff like that, right? Staple.
Yeah.
Jeff Staple.
Yeah, before he got on, he interned for a couple places, I think.
Yeah. So, but I did not ever see. Maybe it was the way that they laid it out. I didn't see Reed Space as the same kind of retail experience as some of these other places, but I guess it was at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean, from what I've heard, from the stories I've been told and pictures I've seen, and I don't know personally because by the time I got to Reed Space, they were closed.
Yeah.
They had shut down.
Yeah.
But I still went. I treat it. I still went like it was the motherland, like it was.
Yeah. You have to pay your pilgrimage due. That's
right.
That's
right.
funny.
Right.
That's so funny.
So as soon as I landed in New York, the first thing I wanted to do was hit Lower East Side, and that's what I did.
Yeah. So they ended up shutting down the store.
Yeah.
And then
I think it was 2015 or 2016 they shut it down.
I haven't really done a lot of business with them over the last couple of years. What's the status of the brand? So right now, it's up until today. What are they? Are they still shipping?
Yeah.
They're still shipping as normal, yeah?
Yep. Still doing everything. Everything. I mean, it's more popular here now than I've ever seen it.
Really?
And you don't get out of Nashville much.
That's crazy. So I gotta revisit that.
Yeah, but it's like at 3 locations, and then Hibbett's. It's at City Gear. They got it everywhere you can find it.
Yeah.
They're good with it.
Yeah, I got to revisit that for sure. So, advice that you would give somebody starting their brand is what? They got to love it, yeah?
Yeah, you got to love it. You got to bleed it. You got to sacrifice everything for it.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's hard, but it's really not hard. And you got to have a dope idea.
Yeah. Your follow through has got to be as good as your idea.
Yeah, the average consumer or average brand maker, like I've seen people locally, and I can just speak on locally because that's all I know. They start brands and it's just garbage, it's trash.
Yeah.
Terrible. Like they have
there's no follow through.
Yeah, it's just terrible.
Yeah, for sure.
There's nothing behind it. There's no story. They have no story.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that shirt? Oh, because I like it. Okay. I'm not gonna buy that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy that.
Yeah.
Fat caps? Like a fat caps? I will buy fat caps.
Why?
Because I know their story.
Because you know their story.
Yeah.
So the brand message is what really resonates with you.
Yeah, that's what really matters. And most consumers, I guess, don't care about that. They're, but I could care less about most consumers or most other brands. Like it really just doesn't.
The truth of the matter is more than ever now, people care about the brand message.
Right. They care about what's being advertised and what's hype. I believe it's all marketing. Just like shoes.
Yeah. So
it's all marketing. I mean, people think they're sneakerheads. They think they have a loyalty to Jordan.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just what you're being told to like.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. But
just like when you sell a hat, that's the same colorway as the new 13 Flints that drop. You know what I mean? They're buying it because it matches shoes.
They're buying it because they match the shoes.
They're buying the shoes, so they have to buy the hat.
Yeah. Their brand message is very, very important, bro. Very important.
Yeah. And Nike's got that. Nike's got
it for sure.
Yeah, they can really touch you.
They can touch you.
They could pull a Kaepernick, and then you're fighting the whole thing. You're just like, oh, I'm down. Like I hate the police.
Yeah.
Like dude, you just got tricked by marketing.
It's heavy.
I'm a victim to it.
Yeah.
Marketing. If you market something to me, I'll buy it.
Yeah. I mean, we're all victims to marketing. Like,
yeah,
we're all I mean, every product that you buy, more or less, is a product of how it was marketed to you.
Right.
In all honesty.
Yeah, and the big companies know how to do that. They know how to trigger you. They know how to make you sad. The drug companies, they know how to do it.
They know how to trigger you.
Yeah, they know how to trigger you. You know, they play a nice little song in the background while they're telling you how the medicine can give you brain damage and heart attack.
Your liver may fail. Your kidney may fail.
It might make your
ask
legs
your
shrink,
doctor.
your feet big. Yeah, but ask your doctor, make sure it's right for you.
Word.
Like, oh,
yeah.
oh.
Forget about every disclaimer I just said 5 seconds ago. Ask your doctor.
Yeah, you might not have kids. It might stunt your growth. It might make you give, you might get tits if you're a man. But, check with your doctor and make sure it's right for you. And I guarantee you, 90% of the people call their doctor. I kind of need that because, I don't want back pain.
Yeah.
What else you got to do? Stretch.
Yeah. Word. That's crazy, bro.
Everyone wants the simple solution. They want the quick marketing, the quick dollar. Tell me what to buy and I'll buy it.
For sure. So what's next for you, bro?
What's next?
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess I'll just keep doing the podcast and documenting, the past. And I don't know. I'd like to start a clothing company.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. You should.
I will.
Yeah.
And I'll do it only through Capswag.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. Look at that. You see, that's called a plug, ladies and gentlemen. A plug. Cool. Yeah.
I will do it. I need help. I don't know the ins and outs, but I would like to do. And you know what? To be honest, like I would like to do a clothing brand that only I own.
So
I want to be my sole customer.
So lucky for you, you got a couple friends in the industry, so you can pick up the phone and get insight wherever you need insight.
Yeah, exactly.
We're living in.
I don't want to do it on a large scale. I want to do it for me,
bro. That's okay.
I'm wearing the piece right here. I'm wearing. Yeah. I made this part of my brand.
That's dope. What is the brand? What's the brand?
This is the Joerilla or the Flock with Us brand.
That's dope.
Flock with Us.
I like Flock with Us. I like Joerilla, but I like Flock with Us. Yeah. I can see it. It's dope.
You know what that is?
I don't know what that is, but it looks like graffiti to me, but I don't know what that is.
This is Jeff Staples.
Really?
Autograph.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He autographed a pair of shoes. He autographed a pair of Pumas for me. Limited to like 300 pair. I bought the pair of shoes. I package it up. I put a GoPro in the mail and I send it to Jeff. And I said, video yourself autographing my shoes. Right? He got the shoes. I got it on GoPro, the video. It's funny as hell. They open the box and they're like trying to figure out how to work the GoPro. And then he signs my shoe and sends it back. And then I took that and I put it on a shirt.
Ladies and gentlemen, brand loyalty. Fuck. As soon as I get off this podcast, by the way, I'm gonna have like a meeting in the room next door, and I'll be like, whoever's handling our marketing fucking sucks.
You need me to.
That's me. We fucking suck.
No. You need me to come in.
No.
Talk.
No. Listen, bro. Look, only an arrogant person would think that they know everything everything out there. There are lessons in these conversations. That's the point of this podcast. There are lessons in this conversation that rings true throughout time. No matter what it is, it's still gonna fucking 10 years from now, it's still gonna be the same fucking thing. Mm-hmm. So for people that are watching this that don't understand, the reason why you're on here is, first of all, you're a great dude. Second of all, your brand loyalty is on 1,000. That's something that I don't really see that often. I don't see it with a streetwear brand that came out of nowhere that's predominantly an apparel company. They're not Nike. Like footwear, I get it. It starts with the shoes. But like for an apparel company to do what they did, that's crazy, bro. And to get that kind of brand loyalty is insane. So I fuck with that. I really do.
It's all due to Jeff Staple.
Yeah. Very interesting guy. That's very, I can't wait to see that podcast. So when are you going to have him on the show?
As soon as this thing clears up.
That's something I definitely want to see.
As soon as the flight clears up, I'd like to hear his take on everything. I don't get to talk much, but when I do, it's not like I sit there and tell him staple.
Right. You're asking other questions.
Yeah, it's usually I just just a quick hit up or, hey, can you send me the panda pigeons? And he'll tell me no, of
Yeah, yeah,
course,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
too early. I asked it when the panda pigeons released.
yeah,
I hit him up and I was like, yo, can you send me a pair early because I'm doing this an interview with
yeah.
this sneaker brand here in Nashville, and he was like, yeah, no, just flat out no, it's too
Yeah,
early.
yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, okay, but when they released, they sent me a pair.
That's dope. That's dope, bro.
Yeah,
Having somebody in the know like that and being able to work with them and learn from them is no small thing. It's very interesting. So
yeah.
the
And then before I got the tattoo, I asked, can you design me a tattoo? Make sure it's okay.
yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
That's
but
dope.
the flock with us, when I started doing flock with us, I said, when I met him, he came to Nashville. So okay, so being a brand fan, when the black pigeons dropped for SB Nike SB,
Uh-huh.
there's a store in Nashville called Rooted, right?
I've heard of that. I think that was in one of your YouTube videos. I
Yeah, it was
remember
one of the
seeing it.
videos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. So because I'm such a Staple fan, they reached out to me because they were bringing Jeff down to release his shoe and signature, and they, there was no way that they could come invite Staple to Nashville without having me there,
That's dope, bro. That's
right?
dope.
So it's almost like, yeah, we're not having an event, unless we're having you here,
That's dope, bro.
right? So I hired the camera crew, and they took me. I went out there and they followed me around while I did all that, but and I got to interview Jeff that night and talk to him, chop it up a little with him,
Very,
and
very, very, very important
right,
for those of us that are not for whatever reason that it is that are not as fortunate enough to be able to start something and launch something. The next best thing is to surround yourself with people that can.
for sure.
Yeah, because it
And
gives you a lot of insight.
I told him about the flockwithus.com.
Yeah.
And I said, when I pulled him aside after the interview, I said, have you seen the website? And he said, yeah, I've seen it. And I said, is that okay? And he said, have you heard from the lawyers? I said, no, sir. And he said, and it's okay.
That's funny, bro. That's funny,
Yeah,
man.
he's in full support of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's dope, bro. I mean, why wouldn't he be? Honestly,
Right.
you're
Well, I mean, you're taking a brand, you're taking, their hashtag flock with us, or, I'm talking flockwithus.com. I own that. I'm not taking from him. I'm not profiting off him, but I mean, you would want to be cautious of someone rapping, capswag.net.
yeah, yeah, but in the way that you're doing it, I don't see an issue with it.
Right.
I think that it's a very, very supportive thing. If we had brand ambassadors that reflect the feeling that you have for their brand, there's no issue there for me. I mean, just like there's no issue there for him, obviously. So
Right. But you wouldn't just want to trust your brand to just anybody. I mean,
no,
funny shit.
Nah. It's a reflection of who you are, bro. The amount of work. There's so much work and effort that goes into it that you don't want to put that in just anybody's hands, for sure. Yeah.
So I just did it, and I just did the design like for this.
That's dope.
Yeah, just like he had said at one of his talks, he said, don't ask permission for shit. Just kind of do it and deal with it.
Just do it. Forgiveness is easier than permission.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely.
Until you tell me to stop, like it's cool.
That's definitely words to live by, bro. Forgiveness is easier than permission most times.
Yeah. So in the beginning of all my podcasts, I play his little quote.
That's dope.
Right, because I didn't ask permission to do a podcast. I just did it and named it after, I didn't take his logo.
Yeah.
But flock with us. So I just feel like I earned it.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. That's dope, bro.
It's a part of me. There's nothing I can do about it.
So let's plug the podcast again. For those of us that don't know what the podcast is, where can they go to listen to it? Where can they go to stream it? Where can they go to support you?
Stream podcast plus YouTube, or you can just go to flockwithus.com.
Dope.
Look it up. I mean, it's not like important. It's for me, my personal thing, basically.
You know what, bro?
Anything I do is just personally for me.
I'll tell you this. You expressed a lot of respect that you have for what it is that we do. I want to reciprocate that respect. It is important.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it's important to me.
Yeah, but it's also important to me.
Right. I'm glad it helps. I'm
Yeah.
glad it works.
Well, it's important to me on so many different levels that we probably will take a little bit of time for you to understand. But
Right.
one of the levels that it's important to me, people have such a deep rooted connection to a brand that they live it, they support it, they tattoo it on their body, and it affects the rest of their life. There are people that work within organizations today that have a Jeff Staple that they work with that don't open their mind and say, hey, look, I don't know what it is, but this guy got it. And whatever we need to do to support this person, let's do it.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, it's not about the product. It's not about, I guarantee if Jeff called or if the Staple team called and said, hey, I want to put you on payroll to do something, I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
What's the issue there? You just don't want to, you don't want to.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
I got my own thing.
Yeah.
I don't need,
you don't need,
I need that.
You don't need a job.
No, I haven't had a job since I was 17.
Yeah. Wow.
I haven't had a paycheck since I was 17.
That's crazy.
I'm good. Like I'm rich. I'm good. Like I measure my wealth in my happiness.
Yeah.
Like you can't put a tax on that. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
I got everything I need.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. I need nothing.
That's dope. Not a lot of people can say that.
If it's there, I'll take it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I don't need it. I'm just doing my thing and that's it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So before
you're
enlightened. Before we wrap it up, bro, any questions you got for me? Anything you want to ask me before we wrap it up?
Yeah. How do I get a Cap Swag Nashville?
How do you get into Cap Swag? Wow, that's a heavy conversation. How do you get a Cap Swag Nashville? I don't know, bro. You come up with the cash and you open one up. How do you get one?
Yeah.
You're asking me how we open one up, or you're asking me how you open one up? There's two different.
How are we going to open one up in Nashville?
How are we going to open one up in Nashville?
Yep.
You come up with the funding, the location.
Okay.
And then, you hit me on that line, bro. You got the bat line. You know what's up.
Yeah. I like that.
You show me the numbers are right. Your boy ain't no idiot. The numbers got to be right. The numbers are right. The numbers are right.
I don't know numbers, but I know that I want to see Cap Swag where I can drive past it.
Let me tell you this right now. I'll keep it real with you. When it comes to stores and building out stores, I think that the best store in the world is literally that camera right there. That's the store.
Right.
You got the biggest brands in the country shutting down stores. Right? And you got the biggest brands being built with no stores. Like peep this game. Uber, how many cars does Uber have?
Oh, no telling.
0. They don't own a single car.
Really?
They own an app. They're a tech company. Right or wrong? How many hotels does Airbnb own?
Yeah, not many.
What? None. They're a fucking software company. They got a rip. It's amazing. Right?
All right, maybe I should rephrase my question. How do we do capswag.com/Joerilla?
Word up. But you understand my point.
I need a product code. I need a promo code.
No, yeah, we're going to work on that for sure. We're going to work on that. You understand my point, right?
I do. I understand.
I feel like retail stores are antiquated.
Right.
I'm not saying they're all antiquated, but bro, what interests me more than anything is a brand message that resonates with people.
But I love brick and mortar.
I think that
so much.
I own a few. Take it from me. I have a few brick and mortar stores, right?
Sure.
They're not easy to operate. I've been in the brick and mortar business for close to 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. The issue with brick and mortar stores is that you're not focused on a single objective. You're focused on the operations of the business.
Right.
And that's hard to do without a team. So like you're in Nashville, so let me give you an example of some stores that I really bang with that I think are interesting businesses. You ever hear of Round 2?
I have.
They're an interesting business.
Very.
Very, very interesting business. They're a reseller business. I've known about Round 2 for years, like 3 years, 4 years.
Right.
Very interesting business. Their main, I guess the majority of their majority of their retail sales is actually brick and mortar stores. It's a little bit contrary to what I was saying, but then their potential is not the brick and mortar. They have a YouTube channel. They kill it on the content side, and
right. But they haven't had a site for a long time.
Yes, but I don't think they're, bro. I look at their business and I don't think brick and mortar. I think they're a content play.
Yeah.
You know, if
I mean, that's how they built everything they did. Is that content.
Exactly. That's the interesting side of the.
Or everything they built their business.
Yeah, that's the interesting side of the conversation. It's the content play. I think you have all the.
Right.
You see where you're coming from is you have all this content experience and you're trying to transition into retail. And the funny thing is,
I'm a nostalgic kind of guy, though.
Yeah, you're because you value that retail experience, that retail.
Yeah,
that
you're
vibe.
looking at it. You're looking at it business. You're looking at the money.
No.
I'm looking at the.
No. I'm not just looking at the money. That's a misconception. I'm looking at it like this.
Right.
How do you build something of value that impacts people's lives? And what is the most efficient way to do it? Right now, that happens to not be retail.
Right.
20 years ago, it was retail.
For sure.
Maybe 20 years in the future, it may not be retail, it may not be online anymore. It may be this like weird melting pot of both, where it's like fucking half retail, half online, where you're walking into a front area and it's a dope vibe, and then boom, your package arrives right at your door just by you looking at the shit, like something crazy like that. I think that we're in a very, very interesting place right now. Brand messaging, that's what runs this area right now. It's how you message that brand. The biggest companies that I deal with, they struggle to get that brand message locked in.
Mm-hmm.
What your story about how you resonate with Staple, that's something that people should take lesson to, including myself and anybody else watching this.
I hope so. I don't intend for it to happen, but if it does, it does.
No, it will. Automatic. It will.
Yeah.
It will, because there's nobody that watches something like this. I mean, anybody that's sensitive or awake, right, will see something like this and say, man, like these people really connected with this person on that level. That's very interesting. Yep. No, there's no store. You know how many people open up stores like Marathon, like Nipsey's brand, right?
Right.
That's him, bro.
That was all him.
That was all him, bro. You know how many people open up stores and shut down regular? That's normal. 90% of businesses shut down within the first 3 years. 90.
Yeah, that's every day.
Every day business is shutting down. Why that location? You know how much numbers they were doing before, his situation? Before that. They were crushing game. Before that. Right. After it, forget it. Like, it went crazy. But
they
before
had
that,
a real crazy passion for what they did too.
Of course, that's the brand message.
Yeah,
he was able to project that brand message through his music, through his art, through his craft. That's interesting.
Yeah,
and I'm at a point where I'm looking at the most efficient way to deliver that message.
Sure.
The least frictionless.
The least friction. That's good. But I still wouldn't mind renting a building, putting the name Cap Swag on
Facts.
it, and putting sets in there.
Listen, no, I'm not gonna. Whenever you want to have that conversation, we'll have that conversation.
I like that.
For sure. But I will tell you this: there's more conversation I want to have with you about the branding side of things, for sure. Because I feel like there's a wealth of knowledge there. Before we wrap it up, any other questions you got for me? Anything you want to ask?
I just want to hear more of what you got.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this, and I really hope that people grasp what you're doing is really important here.
So
I can't wait for the story to live on.
Yeah.
I want people to hear the story. I want you to figure out a way to
project it,
brand that.
Project it. Yeah, I agree.
And at the end of that story, I want to hear my name in it somewhere.
I'm not gonna wait till the end. I'm putting you on right now, bro. This is not even.
It. But see, that I'm saying, like in the history of Cap Swag, there we're like, yeah, Joerilla was a part of that.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, and the ego gets me half the time. I'm just like, yeah, did tell them that.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
I kick game to them. I remember.
Yeah, like I told them. Yeah, you see how they're branded? Like, yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah. That's dope, bro.
I want the credit. I want some credit.
We'll give you the credit, bro. We'll put you on the credit list. No problem. No problem.
No, for real. Yeah, but yeah, I think it'll be some cool shit going on.
Yeah, we got to do we got to do more of that.
My clothing ideas, and I want to filter it all through Capsway.
I appreciate that. We're happy to help, bro. Yeah. I appreciate that, and also whatever you need on that side of things. Obviously, you have my contact. We're gonna work with you to get that done.
Yeah, I definitely know how to do it and where to do it. It's so hard to find any of that down here.
Really?
Anyone? Yeah, I mean, you got maybe a handful of people who do printing direct to garment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They may do some stitching, but they're really closed-minded people, and it's mostly big business.
Sure.
That you can work with. You can't just walk into a spot and go, I want to make this shirt, and this is what I do with it. They're gonna tell you first off, well, we can't do that color, or we only got through 2X. You know what I mean? Like, they just won't work with you.
So I'm gonna tell you this just based on my knowledge, right, of like the decorated apparel game, right? The decorated apparel game is a legacy business. What it is it's in the process of undergoing a technology transformation.
Right.
Much like the retail sector. Very similar. It's in an evolution stage of its life cycle.
Yeah.
It's mature.
I can see that.
You understand that, right? So like you see a lot of printers are like they're either screen printers and they've been in it for a minute and they're just fixated on doing things one way. They don't really leverage technology, social media storytelling. They don't share concepts on how to connect with the brand or connect your brand with customers in a whole different way. They're just not at that point. And the reason why I know that is I go to the shows, bro. Like I mix up with these people because that's part of my business, right?
Yeah. Just
like I did with the retail branded side of things. And I get to know some of them and I just see where they're at. They're legacy antiquated processes. It's very, very old school thinking on how to do things.
Right.
And that's what interests me in getting in.
Yeah. And most of the people who do it here in our area are fixated on the dollar.
Right.
Nobody wants to help share the passion.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to sell a story. They just want to make $1. That's all people do.
Unfortunately, manufacturing it revolves around that thinking. So I want to tell you that the business that we built, swagtex.com, right? That was the point of building that.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do, like, I have a sticker right on my computer right here. I wish I could show you. I'll send you some stickers too.
Oh yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, it has custom made simple. I'm literally speaking to you right now, and it's like right here in front of the screen. I'm looking at it. And I'm like, this guy's telling me exactly what's on the sticker. It says custom made simple.
Right.
So I literally designed this company and this branding play in order to take the crazy, like, antiquated way of doing customs out of the cycle. It's such a legacy fucking business. It's so complicated. I mean, come on. We're in the 21st century. We're printing shirts. Can we make it a little easier? Right?
Right.
There's like drones going to be delivering pizzas. I think we can do shirts a little bit easier, right?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit easier. So we're at that point in the life cycle of that business where things have to change. And that's kind of where we're headed to in that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all on your side. That's the business side.
Yeah.
I just want to tell a story.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
So what do you think of the store? You seen some of the lives that I put out with the walkthrough of the store. What do you think of the new store that we're building?
It looks dope. Like I said, all I wanted to know where my office was.
Yo, you got the glass office in the back, bro. You didn't see the glass office?
That's perfect. Yeah. I'll come down there. I'll come down there 2 or 3 times out of the
Yeah, you should come down there. Shit. You should definitely check it out.
So this shit clears up a little bit and it's a little safer.
A little less crazy. Yeah. You ever come
I'll come down before that.
Come out here, bro. For sure. Come out here, come check it out.
I got nothing to do.
Yeah.
But Kids and the wife. That's all I do.
You'll come out here, you'll check it out. Yeah, but real responsibilities in a family. And nothing to do but family responsibility. Nah, you come out here and check it out for sure. I'd love to have you out there. I'd love to have you out
That's
there.
all I do. I'm good. Like I don't want nothing from it. I just want to tell my story, and I think there's a way to do that.
Nah, there's definitely a way to do that, and we're gonna do it. So swagtex.com, we're gonna be launching that branding play, and we're gonna be working with people in order to help them launch their passion, whatever it is that they want. And we want to make it as simple as possible, the least frictionless way. That's really my goal for the next few years, to try to develop the least frictionless way to deal with the customer, the least frictionless way.
Simplify idea
For sure.
to product.
Yes.
To people.
With the least amount of friction.
Right.
And I take all the emotion out of it. If it's a retail store and it doesn't make sense, and the best way to do it is through a camera, or the best way to do it, I'm telling you brick and mortar, but I'm still building stores.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I see it like every week. You're just like new store.
Yeah,
new store.
yeah. So it's not every week, but there's a few stores now. But I also know the level of responsibility and how much it takes away from some of the stuff that I want to do by being like retail owner operators. It's a lot. Right. It's a lot of work.
Because of what you do and what you sacrifice, I'm going to be able to get my brand.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care a dime about business.
Yeah. You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know store. I just see a store. I just want to put one up somewhere. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like I told you.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a paycheck. I don't want a paycheck. I'm good. You know what I mean?
This is your passion.
Yeah. This is my idea. This is my passion. And because you grinded so hard and you took so much time away from your family, and you slept in the shop, ate in the shop, made sure your employees were at the shop, I get my brand. We
slept on boxes, bro, sometimes.
Yeah.
Like literally.
I can't imagine what
you
went through.
There are days where we lay out.
Down, when it was popping.
Bro, there are days where I laid out boxes on the floor.
I can't imagine.
And we sleep on the floor. And honestly, those are trying times. We're literally sleeping on a floor on boxes. You start to look around. You're like, yo, really? This is life?
Yeah.
Yo, this shit is life, bro.
Yeah. That's amazing. And, I don't have to live that. Because now I could just get my brand. And that's the whole idea is the knowledge of education. Is now I don't have to open a store and say, I don't have to open 3 brick and mortars and watch them fail because you just told me, hey, don't do that.
Nah, go straight.
There's a different way.
Go straight, bro. You know how to get to the customer. You know how to communicate.
20 years. You just saved me 20 years.
Facts.
If I want to open a cap store, if I want to open a brand retail, you literally just saved me 20 years of fail and try.
Absolutely.
Try and fail.
For freedom.
Yeah.
For free. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like you should charge $1,000 a class for that.
Nah, bro. I feel like if people benefit off the conversations that we're having, and we create a network of people that are doing this. Yeah. I saw this one post the other day. I don't know if Elon Musk actually said this, but I saw this one post the other day, and he goes, "Yo, when women have babies, they do like baby showers. Why don't when somebody open a business or starts a hustle, his friends come around and they give him an entrepreneur shower?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they shower him with help and assistance.
That's the grand opening.
That's called the grand opening. Yeah. But in a grand opening in a business, it's a little less. I'm going to tell you this right now. And this is different for a lot of people. The people that you expect to really support you sometimes don't.
Right.
And the people that you don't expect to support you, they will surprise you.
Yeah. I'm sure there's no glamour in the 20 plus years you put in.
Nah. There's a lot of
very little glamour. Like from what I see, I see a dope shirt, I see a dope office, I see podcasting stuff, I see hats, I see clothing, and I'm just like, dope. I want it.
Yeah, but that's the end result.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is the beauty of it is you literally cut 20 years off the next designer.
Yeah.
Gonna come to you and be like, hey, I need this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took you 20 years to get there. And you're cutting that right out of someone's life.
You guys are listening, right? You need to listen to this man. This man is a smart man. We're trying to kick game to you. You know, yeah. I got nothing to lose. What is it?
Did you go to college?
I did. I went to college and then I dropped out. I was a shitty student, bro. I fucking hated school. I hated it. I didn't see no point to that shit. I'll keep it real
No,
with you. I thought college was the biggest fucking waste of time.
Was it?
Yeah. So the first for me, college was a waste of time. I was a very like, I gotta understand where the end result is gonna be before I commit myself 100% to something. And
Right.
what happened with college was first year of college, I went to Hunter University in the city.
Okay.
I was dating my girlfriend, which is now my wife. She was going to a different school. I spent more time trying to be near her and around her than I did in class. I ended up getting D's and F's. I just dropped out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I got piss poor student. And then after I dropped out, I felt like such a loser for dropping out. I started a business, and when my business finally started getting some footing, I was like, you know what? I got to go back and just prove to myself and my family that I can do this. I went back, got a couple degrees. But in all honesty, you know, I've never used them. It's just not.
Right.
They look good on the wall. I don't even have them in here.
Right.
I keep them in my house. You know, they're not even in here. So it's like, school's not for everybody, you know?
No, it's not. It's not for anybody until they start
Understanding
teaching
who
you
they
shit
are.
you need to know.
Yeah. I feel that it's
You know what I
very
mean?
valuable for you to know who you are.
Right.
Like honestly, bro, I think the one thing that came out that was good out of this COVID thing was that there's a lot of kids right now not going to school like physically, and they're
Yeah.
able to like intern, or they're able to go like work a job and know themselves before they go take out like $30,000 to $50,000 in debt to get a
Right.
liberal arts degree that they'll never use.
Yeah.
What the
See,
fuck?
people
Crazy.
people complaining about that. The kids not going to school. My kids never went to school.
Really?
I homeschool them.
Wow.
I homeschool 'em. Yeah. I refuse to send them to public school.
You homeschooled your kids like from the rip?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, they're what? They're 8 and 4. But
Wow.
still, I still do that. That's what I do all day, every day.
So you're wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. I
And
refuse to put them in a public school.
and how's that going?
It's going great.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's
They
doing
learn
it
the
right
things
now.
that I need to learn. I'm cutting the middleman out. I'm
Word
cutting the
up.
20 years business out.
Word up.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
School was never good for me. It just made me want to socialize because they never targeted my passion.
yeah,
Yeah. But now I can gauge and see what my kids are passionate about.
and focus the education on that.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, I didn't get that either. My kids
Yeah.
right now are being homeschooled. I don't know if we're gonna send them back.
Yeah. Don't send them back.
I don't think we are. I don't know that we are. I don't feel like it's a good idea to send them back, but we have to see where it goes. I want to see what the first year is like. You know, my wife is handling a lot of that. I'm out
Mhm.
here fighting the good fight, and she's fighting a different kind of fight.
It's definitely challenging.
Yeah.
But in the end, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And I'm sure this is a whole nother podcast
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
on homeschooling kids and teaching them the right thing and what they should have taught us.
yeah.
You know, if someone had told me when I was younger that you can be a movie producer or a
Bro.
photographer, that would have cut 10 years out of my life.
Bro, we had fucking books that were like 20 years old. Shit pages was ripped out of them. I went to school in Brooklyn, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh.
growing up in the 90s in Brooklyn is not what it is now. It's not like Williamsburg today. Let's just keep it real. It was not a great neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So our books was all fucked up. We didn't know that we could do half the shit that we do now. Honestly, I didn't even know it was possible. I thought we just weren't allowed to do shit like that. Real talk.
Right.
Nobody told you weren't allowed, but for some reason you thought you couldn't. Somebody must have told you somehow. Somebody must have taught you, or you inferred that you could not. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, that's what they tell you. They tell you not to stand out. They tell you to stand in line. They tell you to wear your gym clothes. They tell you to when the bell rings, then you go to your next class. This is where you put your books. This is what time you got to be here. They don't want you to stand out. They don't want you to make cap swag as a kid in high school,
Yeah.
in college.
Yeah.
They don't want, they want the workers. They want the bees. And those are the people who don't like that and they excel at other things.
Facts. They're the
You know,
ones.
they
They're the rebels.
I had a dream when I was in 5th grade. I wanted to play professional baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody told me I could be a musician. Nobody told me I could be a photographer. Nobody told me those are options in life. They said, "Hey, you want to play organized sports?" And I was like, "Yeah, 'cause I'm good at it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I don't like organized sports to this day. I don't like the school education today. And I did something about it.
That's very, very interesting. I respect that, bro.
Yeah.
That's very, very interesting.
Organized sports, and I go back and forth with my wife about this all the time. Like, it's no good.
Yeah.
Your win-lose attitude and the attitude that the other kids show is just disgusting.
Facts.
You win or learn. That's it.
Facts.
I hate that.
So with that being said, we're gonna wrap this joint up.
Oh, for sure.
We got the flock with us man himself, Joerilla. Joerilla with the tat on the hand, boy. Shit. Jeff,
Hey.
cut the check. Cut this man a check, bro. If you haven't cut him a check, cut him a check. This guy's branding play, forget it. You know, for the amount of inspiration that somebody like this does for a brand, insane, man. Really, really insane. Listen, personally, I've learned a lot from you, bro, today. I'll keep it real.
We just started.
Yeah, we definitely just started. Off mic, on mic, don't matter to me. I always like to give people their credit. That's something I really I think that's important to understand that people's values, right?
Appreciate it.
So you guys are listening to another episode of the Hustleman Show. I got my man Joerilla. All right, the Flock With Us podcast, flockwithus.com. This guy's one of the biggest staple collectors in the country. Branding in the world. My mistake.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Miscalculation. The world. And check out his podcast. Check him out personally. He's a very interesting guy. Look out for his new apparel coming soon. All right, new B or brand apparel coming soon. If you guys like what we're doing, make sure that you subscribe. You hit that notification bell. You can find us on all streaming platforms, including Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud. We got them all. Thanks for watching. Take care. Oh, one more thing. Remember, business is always personal. Always.